I watch
so
a lot of YouTube videos
Wow,
though.
brain rot child. It's the little things along the way that make the destination so beautiful. Let your friends be that way.
Kill them.
No.
We go on a lot of walks.
Yeah.
And when somebody doesn't smile at us,
Oh, I'm pissed.
dude, we honestly turn around and go follow them to their house.
No,
so we can.
The average person makes around 35,000 decisions each day. That's insane.
And you know how you're in like elementary school and they say no to drugs? No, say yes. Because
no, listen, look, take calculated risks.
only thing I ever wanted was someone to like me.
Yeah, we both
And-
wanted love.
Aww.
This week, we're sharing everything we would tell our younger selves, ranging from the lessons that we learned the hard way to the advice that we wish we received a lot earlier on. Without further ado, let's get into this Half Past crew.
Welcome to
Half Past Ja.
Guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is K2.
My name is Hallie.
And if you can't already tell, we're an interracial couple. And that's what we talk about. You guessed it. And we also talk about relationships and questions from you because you go to www.halfpastshot.com where you submit all the questions and stories in the world, but you also buy our merch and then you also look at the weekly blog. So we thank you for doing that. New episodes come out every Monday at 7 a.m., everybody. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Like this video if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us a follow. Rate this podcast 5 stars. It does a lot. It does a lot for us. Okay? So thank you again. Settle in, get cozy, and grab your jaw. All right, everybody.
Oh, that
Today
was cute.
is a very fun day.
Fun. This is a good day. This is a learning day. We're going to be learning a lot. We're going to be talking about a lot. If you haven't seen already from the title, we are going to be discussing life lessons that we wish we knew a lot earlier in our lives because we are now mid-20s and obviously we know everything, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
So much. We know so much.
We're only like, I don't know, in our 20s. So like that's almost
like 60
3
at this
decades
point.
at this point.
Yeah.
500 decades.
I mean, yeah.
Almost.
Well, yeah.
Like
Sure.
we're pretty much almost to the age of 100. We're reaching the end of our life at this point.
Well, that's a sad way to look at
Yeah.
it. But I like to
So-
think we're pretty knowledgeable. What do you have in your teeth? Can you smile? You got like green stuff in your teeth. What have you been eating?
I don't know what I've been eating, but I guess I've been eating something.
You eating some kale, some
guess so.
spinach, some lettuce. You're a healthy boy. You like your salads and your greens. I don't know what that is, but that just was going to bother me this whole time.
I really have learned a lot, Hallie.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how much we have learned in the, I guess, short period of time we've been together. Because I think I learned more between us getting married and now than I did like us starting dating to getting married.
Even
Because,
about yourself.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you made me think a lot about a lot of things because you questioned me on everything in my life.
Oh, that's a good
So
thing.
you just are like, are you sure about that? Are you
Or
sure you should be
why?
doing that? Why are you doing that? Why do you need that?
Why do you think that?
Do you really need the new M4 MacBook Pro?
Yeah.
Don't you have the M2 MacBook Pro? Why would you get the M4? And then I'm like, damn, she's right. But, I hate when she does that.
So just because I told you not to buy something means you've learned a lot?
Just made me question, become more wise.
Well, I think there are a lot of other ways to become wise in this world. I think you have to have not certain experiences, not that you're defined by any experience or whatever.
Every
But-
experience you have defines you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I was going to say that, but there you go. That's good.
Who would
Yeah.
have thought?
I mean, it's true. And I think in our situation of, and I'm not talking about us being an interracial couple, that has the experiences that have come with that definitely have taught us a lot of things, along with having our own business and working full-time jobs. And I mean, like things that normal people do, right? So I think anyone can relate to this in the sense that if you think back on a lot of life-changing experiences in your life, really ask yourself, what did I learn from this? Because I can guarantee you're going to think of a lot of things. And it's really interesting once you start writing down some of those lessons that you've learned, which is kind of what we're going through today.
Yeah. So what is the first thing that you've learned in your lifetime, Hallie?
And I also just want to point out that we did ask the Half Past crew as well
So some of these have that.
Yes. So some of these are from you, from the Half Past crew, because we put it on social media somewhere and we got some good answers. So the first one, which I think everyone is guilty of at one point or another in their life, do not always rush through today just because you're excited for tomorrow. That hits deep, doesn't it?
I think I'm a lost cause in this.
You're a rusher.
I'm a rusher.
I know a lot of people who rush through and are never fully satisfied in the moment and are like, okay, I've done this. Now what's next?
The problem that I have is I don't know if it's because of ADHD or if it's because I just grew up in a very fast-paced environment. Like it's just like it was go go go. I felt like all the time. But I don't know. It's really hard for me to be like, let me look at the big picture and see that this little thing that I'm doing right now is actually going to make a big impact later on. I can't see that. So like whenever I'm like doing something, I'm like, I need impact now. So I'll just rush. I'll do as much as I can. Sometimes I rush things. Sometimes I take things too seriously because I'm like, if I don't do this now, then it'll never happen. And that hurts too.
So do you think in rushing through the moment that you're able to really be present?
Nope. Not even a little bit. Because if I rush through it, then I don't get to like see, like today we were on a run and Hallie was like, hey, let's stop.
My ankle was hurting. I didn't just want to stop. I just want to point that out.
She wanted to stop everybody. But she
and
was
you
like,
decided to get water, everybody.
She was
I'm
like,
just kidding. It's okay.
Let me turn off my music. She like took a deep breath in nature and just like looked around at the trees changing colors. And I think I don't do that because I'm like, that's a waste of time. Like I got to get my run done so I can go shower so that I can do things that I need to get done. And so that's always what I'm thinking in the back of my head. So this is a really hard point for me.
You got to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to slow down. You have to enjoy the journey, not enjoy getting to the destination, rushing through everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important. I want to emphasize this to everyone because I think we all have, yes, I do like to, stop and take a nice deep breath outside and enjoy nature because I realize winter's coming and, fall isn't going to last forever. So I love to savor the moments when I can. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But I think everyone needs to really realize and remember this because too often we get way too caught up in our daily lives, our busy daily lives. Okay. Everyone's got stuff going on. I don't know what the person watching this has going on in their own lives. All right. We all have commitments and things that we have to adhere to. So I just really want to emphasize the importance of it's the little things along the way that make the destination so beautiful. Really think about that.
Beautiful words, Hallie.
Yeah, because
That's
think if
fantastic.
you're, I don't know, working towards something like, or I don't know, like for example on our run, right? Yes, we could have just done our run, but I wanted to stay outside a little bit longer. I took funny videos of you doing some parkour. That was a good time.
I love parkour.
We wouldn't have done that had we not stopped. We even got a little sip of water. We're not training for anything right now, so it's not that serious. And it was just a really fun run. Enjoying, first off, fall just like smells good outside. I don't know what, like just the leaves and the trees. Yeah. And the colors as well. So I think you should just enjoy the little things along the way every single day. It makes things more exciting. Next one.
This is mine.
I know. This is one that you put in.
So I said, stop focusing on the uncontrollable. Now, I say this because there was a time in my life where I would only focus on things that were uncontrollable. Like I would try and control things that I could not, like I literally could not control these things, but I tried to, and that affected me a lot. So there's this time in college where I would literally write in a notebook, stop trying to control the uncontrollable. I would write it every single day. Sometimes I'd write it 10 times a day. And it's really stuck with me because it's really hard to do, especially if you grew up in an Asian household. The reason I say that is because I feel like a lot of the times, it's not every parent, but sometimes your parents do try and lead you a certain direction, and that's for your own benefit. That's for what they think is best, and I think that's okay sometimes if you really want to. But they were trying to control something that was uncontrollable, which was me. I was not controllable. And I think then I took that thing like, they kind of like helped me do this thing, whereas they were actually like telling me to do this specific thing because it's a good career, it was the best way to go, and all these things, whereas I wanted to do something else, I think. And that one lesson, I started to take it on myself, and I started to project that to others, like Hallie. I used to try and I used to be like, you got to do this, you got to do that.
Used
and
to?
I still do sometimes.
It's something, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but like you do struggle with this, and that's okay. You're working on it.
I think I've gotten a lot better at it. Like it was bad before, where it was like I was trying to, I used to get mad at things that were not exactly controllable. Like when I got assigned an assignment, for example, in college, and I had to get it done. Like, okay, yeah, I have to there's nothing I can do, but that's like I can't control that. And so like I had to put things aside because of that. And I don't know, there's a lot more on top of this that I guess affected me a little bit, but you do have to stop focusing on things that are uncontrollable, because it's just it's gonna eat you from the inside.
I was just talking about this with a friend the other day, actually, so I like that we're bringing this up. I think the thing with learning to let go of trying to be in control of the uncontrollable is figuring out what kind of stressor it is. Like, is it a preventable stressor? Like, for example, if you're wanting to be on time to something, you have the option to leave a little bit earlier versus, I left at the time I was going to leave at, but there's a ton of traffic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think you have to put yourself...
Oh my gosh,
you have to really think about, and that's one of the things. And like road rage is real, right? Like
dude,
road rage is crazy.
Rage is bad.
But like getting stuck in traffic, but that's the thing too, is like, okay, so if you do leave at the time that you're supposed to leave, right? And you're stuck in this traffic, there's no use of being mad about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like in reality, you could have left earlier. I think it's just ultimately accepting your fate and being like, okay, I'm taking responsibility. I made this decision to leave at this time. And you know what? The world's not going to end if I'm 10 minutes late. That's the biggest thing.
Gosh.
Put into perspective, is the world going to end if X, Y, or Z happens? That's how I think of it. And that's really helped me to let go of all the anger that I have of things around me that I can't control.
Yeah. I've gotten better at it, but it's still hard for me. The biggest thing is like having a little bit of mindfulness and just like thinking about the way you react to things. That's so hard for me. I do such a bad job of reacting to situations. For example, today, me and Hallie were just chilling on the couch.
What were we watching?
We were watching Tower Heist.
Oh, I love that movie.
We were just chilling, having a good time. And then I got up and I started to have like a panic attack almost. Like I was just stressed. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to edit, I have to get all these things done because we have plans tonight. And I was like, I have to get these done before then we still have to run. And like all these things that are uncontrolled, like they just feel like they're uncontrollable to me, but they are to a certain degree controllable. If I had, instead of like started complaining about it, if I had just started doing these things, like got ready to run, actually went on the run, and then come back, start working on it. And if I don't finish that one thing I had to get done, it's not the end of the world. And for me to realize that, it's so hard. But I don't know.
It is. Yeah. And I can just speak to this point because for me, it's all about the kind of reaction you have, right? And I think because I got upset after that because I was still having a great time sitting on the couch watching the movie, and I'd been there for like maybe 30 seconds before you were like right here before all that started happening. And I think it's all about, again, how you react. And if you would have just said, hey, you could start with, I'm stressed about this. Can we talk about it? Or I'm stressed. Let's write down everything that we need to do and let's figure out how we can get this all done because we do have plans tonight. So I think it's important all in how you handle it. Is it, what kind of reactions are they called? Like proactive, or what is it called? Do you know what I'm talking about? Reactive?
You have to be proactive.
Yeah.
Instead of reactive.
Yeah. There we go. I think that's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. To me, I'm very much a tone and what you say, how you say
know.
things kind of person. And I take things really personally I understand you were stressed. Okay. I get it, because thinking about all those things, it's a lot in your head, but when you put it down on paper, which we like to do often, and put it in a checklist, it actually, you're like, oh, that's
it?
doable. Yeah, like that's okay.
I can't believe it's just that much.
And I think that's really how I've started to manage my tasks on a day-to-day basis. And that's really helped me, one, to prioritize, and two, understand, okay, well, I don't need to get this done today. I can get this done tomorrow. And then also not be super stressed about it, because like, oh, I have it written down. I can check it off. And I like checking things off when I'm done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very nice. I think it's something that everybody needs to work on. All right. What's the next one, Hallie?
Don't compare yourself to anybody. I wish that in high school and in college and God, in middle school was the worst. Intermediate school, gosh, we had so many schools. We had intermediate school and middle school were like some of the worst years of my life as a child. I compared myself to everybody. I was not popular. I didn't have a lot of friends because all of my best friends went to different schools. So I went to new schools alone. It was hard for me to make friends. I was very shy. I know that's kind of hard to believe, but I really was. And I was very uncomfortable in my body. And like, it's just a weird time for everybody. I'm not saying my experience is unique, but I hated those years so much. And throughout the years of being 10 to maybe like 21, I compared myself to everybody and everything out there, especially with social media being a thing. Because social media, and I compared myself to people even when social media wasn't a thing. Like in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I didn't have anything. But I still saw the people around me, all the popular people, the pretty people, the skinny people. I was never any of that. And it was really hard for me. And I compared myself to everybody in every way then. And then I also thought like I wasn't smart. I just hated myself, you guys.
My main man, Theodore Roosevelt, has a quote.
Okay.
It's comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh, 1,000%.
I guess like for me growing up, I used to compare myself to other kids who had girlfriends. I think literally the only thing I ever wanted was someone
Love?
to like me.
Yeah, we both wanted love.
Aw,
Why are your hands so sweaty? I love you though.
Aw,
It's
that's
okay.
good.
Give me your sweat.
But the thing is, like, I used to, like, even in first grade, there was this kid, and he all the girls wanted to be his girlfriend. It's because, he was a good looking kid, I guess. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and I was not that. And I think that like really
It's overrated.
made me feel like I had to be that to be attractive. And that was a really bad like thing that was in my head. I hated that. It took me a long time to realize that that's not the way it is. And then I used to be like, oh, these guys are all playing sports, and all the guys who play sports look strong, and all the girls like strong guys. And I was a skinny little twig brown kid. And I think that was something else that I actually saw that and started to be like, okay, I'm going to do sports. So that was the first time I joined the track cross country team, which made me even thinner. But I was fast, so nobody could catch me.
Hell yeah, you were.
And so that was one thing that I'm glad I started doing that, because I got to meet so many different people who had the same mindsets as me. But then I stopped comparing myself to a lot of people as well during that time. Like I was just happy. I think that's the thing, is like when you're happy, you just stop comparing yourself to others.
When you're happy and when you're confident in yourself.
Yeah. And so that's a big one. And like you said, when I say like comparison is the thief of joy, if you start comparing, you lose the happiness, you lose that joy, you lose all of that.
Well, yeah, because you start to think that, oh, there are so many people in this world that are so much better than me and more successful than me and will have so much more money than I ever have. Yeah. And that's so unfair. And that's honestly not something that I learned or really realized until I became very confident in myself. And I am now, because I've done a lot of things to work on myself to, in my eyes, make myself better, which is not always easy to do. And it comes with really taking care of yourself, prioritizing yourself over everything. I mean, I know that probably sounds selfish, but it's not. I love self-care and prioritizing myself and taking care of myself to help my mental health as well, which is huge. because sometimes you're kind of blinded, I think, by a lot of what society is now. And I hate to say that social media is like so much to do with that because, well,
Yeah,
it's kind of
society.
well, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Because it's amazing to see that standards for beauty have changed. That's such a huge, which obviously you can compare yourself to somebody else in so much more than just beauty. But like, I mean, if you think about like the 2000s, like what beauty used to look like paper thin, eyebrows were really thin, like just, I don't know, like the style and like everything has changed. And again, you can compare yourself to somebody like, oh, they're so much richer than me, whatever. I literally do not have the need to compare myself to anybody. I love myself so much, and it's taken a long time to get there, but I'm so glad that I'm here because it feels so much better than when I used to pick at myself and criticize myself. And I still do sometimes, but it's only because I want to be better for me, not because I'm looking at this person and being like, oh, they're so much better than me in every single way. No, I don't care.
Yeah.
That wastes so much time and energy. And I think once you realize that everyone's journey is so unique to them, like I cannot compare my journey to somebody else's. That is so unfair. Like they're not at all the same. They're not linear at all. So you can, this is a funny saying, but you can't compare apples to oranges. Okay, you just can't. So let everybody live their own lives. You live your own life and don't compare yourself to anybody.
Boom.
I'm very passionate. Can you tell?
Yeah, I can tell.
I love it.
I'm glad that you mentioned all of that. The next one, I like this one a lot. Say yes more often. It's amazing what can happen just by saying yes.
Yes.
And you know how you're in like elementary school and they say no to drugs? No, say yes. Because
no, listen.
What?
There are some things you should say. Look, take calculated risks. Say yes to
risks.
Things that make sense.
So if a kid or if a person comes and pulls up in a white van, asks you, do you want some candy? Make sure you say
no.
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 Yes?
No.
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 Definitely not. No. Don't do that.
What would be your version of that? Somebody pulls up to you in a white van and says, hey, I have the new Mac Air.
No, if somebody pulled up and they said like they have any kind of computer or
the
MacBook,
Mac Air.
I don't like the Mac Air. If they said, I have the new MacBook Pro M4, and then I'd be like, oh, let me get in that van.
Okay.
Or if they were like, I got the new Tesla self-driving release, I was like, oh, let me get that, Then I'd be interested.
Let me get that. Well, that would not be hard at all. Nobody, please don't try and do that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Don't do that. But I do. The only reason I'm here today is because I've said yes to the most crazy opportunities.
Yeah, I think it comes in many forms. So so I put this down because I think it's really important, and I also just see so many different posts about it from like I think Jay Shetty recently posted about it. Mel Robbins. I love both of those podcasts. Please, oh my God, if we could somehow meet Jay Shetty and or Mel Robbins, I would sob. That would be amazing.
Fantastic.
But anyways, say yes to things. And I bring this up because one of my friends brought up a good example to me the other day. And it's a silly example, but it's the simplicity of saying yes can take you so far. She had entered a pie eating contest and she was like, I've never been in a pie eating contest before, nor did I think I would ever do something like that, which, I mean, it sounds simple, right? Like a pie eating contest. But she said the amount of fun that I had with my daughter, unmatched. They had such a great time. She said she wanted to do it again. She's like, I won even. So like the amount of fun she had and she won and she wants to do it again. And it just brought her so much joy.
Yeah.
That's a very simple example of saying yes and saying yes, how it can change your life.
I said yes to an opportunity in 2017 to a wedding. I didn't have the proper equipment. I didn't have a good camera. I didn't have a drone to take drone shot. I didn't have anything. And I said yes to this person to do a wedding. And it was like, what, $200? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I was very nervous. I was very scared. I had never been to a wedding in my life. So this was my first ever wedding, and I was going to film it. So I didn't know what was happening. I didn't understand what was first, what was second, how did the reception work. I didn't understand any of it. Plus, I didn't have the equipment. So I had to go get the equipment, spent $6,000, put it all on a credit card. That was probably a really bad idea. I would never do something like that now. I feel like I just like not, I didn't know about money as much as I do now. I was like, oh my God, I cannot imagine spending $6,000.
That's a lot.
When I was what, 18, 19?
That's a,
It's like 19.
Yeah.
I was 19 years old spending $6,000 on a camera, lens, and a drone. And I said yes, I was going to do this, so I bet on myself. But that one decision has led me to make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's insane.
Which is insane. A $6,000 investment, saying yes to this $200 opportunity led me to make all of these different videos, opportunities, whatever it may be. Like it is, I don't know. That's insane to me.
It is, yeah. And that just proves the point of you should say yes more often. And there are a lot of people, I would say content creators or influencers or whoever, that really kind of have this as their motto. Like,
Yeah.
it's not say yes exactly, but like Kelly Wakasa does do what excites.
Oh yeah, do what excites.
Like always picking something, I guess, that, you know, is exciting or can switch up your routine or whatever.
IVL gonna get you right.
Yeah, IVL. Hey, I was having a latte. It's not half past chai today. It's half past latte, everybody. Sorry about that. I had to have my espresso,
But we do have like a teapot.
yeah,
Which is fantastic.
we do. So we can talk about that more at the end because I have a special shout out to the friend who got this for us. But like, we have to include this because like, look how freaking cute that is. So we're going to leave that here. That is definitely now a new prop on our table, and we're using the coasters that come from it. So I think it's very important to say yes and always kind of keep this in the back of your head, because what's the statistic that like you make so many decisions in a day? Is it like 28,000 or something
It's
crazy?
Some crazy, like 30,000 different
Let me look at
decisions.
it.
It is. That's why Hallie got me into this thing where you pick your clothes out the day before, like at night, because the first thing you do in the morning is make a decision on taking clothes. If you can take that one decision out, then you save that space for something else. And so we now choose our clothes before we go to bed, and it does make a difference.
It's also, that goes back to the first point, or like one of the first ones of what's uncontrollable, like uncontrollable versus controllable stress. Like by picking out my outfit at night before I go to bed and wake up and have a chaotic morning, I'm saving myself a little bit of time in the morning and a little less decision making. So just want to point that out. But also I just chat GPT'd this, and it said the average person makes around 35,000 decisions each day. That's insane.
That's pretty nuts.
I mean, if you think about it, it can include everything from minor choices like breakfast choices, work-related matters, plans for the evening, or like we're gonna have this for dinner in a week, or like
Figuring
whatever.
out what is 5 plus 10. That's difficult.
And not that you vocalize all of these, but
15.
in your brain you make so many decisions. Like I can ask you, what do you want to have for dinner tonight? And we make a decision, versus in my head, I'm like, ooh, do I want to go upstairs now, or do I want to stay on the couch a little bit longer? Like that's a decision that you're making. I don't know where I was going with that, but I just wanted to point that out, that we make so many decisions a day. So that,
Too many.
Yeah, anything that you can do to kind of mitigate that, I think you should. But nevertheless, say yes to everything, because it can lead, like in your example, to making money or growing your career, or growing your business, or finding out new things about yourself. So I think you should do that all the time.
This was a nice and easy one. Smile often, have fun. You only live once. YOLO. Remember that when that like term was a big thing? YOLO.
Was it Drake that kind
It
of
was
coined that?
huge. It was fantastic.
In like 2015,
I remember like
2012? I don't know.
people would like spend $1,000 on something and to be like YOLO.
Yeah, people like to like, yeah, you only live once. Like, I just dropped $10,000 on a couch or whatever. Like, YOLO.
We did.
I don't know about that.
We did the last time we said YOLO was with our friends Angie and Aiden. It was we went to a Pacers playoff game, and it was not a cheap game, but we were all like, YOLO, let's do it. It's one time, like
And
you
they
never
won.
know. Yeah, it was a fantastic game.
Who'd they play? Was it this? They played the Celtics. And it was like the first game.
Yeah, it was the first game.
It was a good game.
Great.
Yeah, that was a great time.
It was great. I loved it. But yeah, sometimes that you do need to say YOLO, because you only live once.
Yeah, and I think it's important to realize, and this kind of ties in with everything, but not everything in life needs to be taken so seriously. And I think it's really important that you kind of weigh your stressors and think about, okay, like, is this the end of the world? Like in that case, like, oh, is the world going to end if we buy these playoffs tickets? I don't think so. So like we bought them and we went. We had such a great time, and I wouldn't trade that experience and that bonding time that we had with them for anything. But the first part of this is smile more, smile often. It's amazing what can, not every time, but it's amazing what can happen when you smile at people and they smile back at you. And that's just like a really nice human interaction to have.
We go on a lot of walks.
Yeah.
And when somebody doesn't smile at us,
oh, I'm pissed.
Dude, we honestly turn around and go follow them to their house.
No,
so we can find where they. I'm kidding. We don't actually do that.
We're not psychotic.
But it does. I mean, it's like, why did they smile at us?
It's free to smile.
But then when
philosophy.
somebody does smile at us, it's like it brightens your whole day.
Yeah. And again, like, so I just said this, but I don't know if it was heard, but like, it is free to smile back at somebody. Like, it's one thing if you're having a shitty day or whatever, but like, come on, show a little bit of kindness to people, because it really can make or break somebody's day or mood or whatever. And it's free. It's free. It does not cost you money to smile or to be kind to somebody. I think kindness should be everywhere. And sometimes it is. And it's really kind of amazing in some things that I've experienced that strangers are so kind. Some of them, not all of them.
Most of them are kind.
Yeah, I would venture to say, at least where we live, like most people can be really kind and go out of their way and help you out.
Very nice.
Yeah. And I have a story. I don't know. Should I share it?
What is it, the one at IUPUI?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was a sophomore in college. I was at IUPUI. I was a student, and I had just taken a linear algebra exam. Or no. I was taking
Finite?
No, multidimensional mathematics. I hated that class because I studied so hard, and my best was like a B or a B plus.
Yeah.
Like that was the best I could do. So maybe everybody can relate to this, or maybe some people do, some people don't. But I was taking the exam. I'd studied so hard for it, and I think I'd studied too hard to the point where like sometimes things just appear in your brain, like you can't remember like what's like what.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I got to the exam and I was like, oh my gosh, I practiced this question so many times in different formats. And I went to start doing it and I was like I couldn't figure it out. And so I think I left it blank. And to me, being a college student, I was like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. So I was in tears on the way back. I was walking from one end of campus to the main part of campus, head down. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And at one point, in front of one of the buildings on campus, I had stopped and just kind of taken a second to myself, and I was still in tears. And this guy that I'd never seen before, you were gone, like you were somewhere in class, so like you couldn't come be with me. So I was alone, which makes it even more depressing. But this guy looks at me, and we just make eye contact for like a solid 2-3 seconds, and he quickly walks away. And I'm like, oh my God, I started crying harder because I'm like, great, this guy saw me, I'm scaring him, like, who knows what he thinks like I'm upset about. And I stay in that position for a few minutes, like just standing there, just kind of keeping myself. This guy comes back. And it almost like makes me emotional thinking about it because it's so kind. He brought me a coffee and a cookie from a little stand. I don't know if he'd gone to buy it or whatever.
It's so sweet.
Why are you emotional?
Because it's so sweet.
Yeah.
It's so nice because you're going through a tough time and he made the decision just to go get you something.
Well, and that's not even the sweetest part, you guys. Oh my gosh. He hands the stuff to me and he was like, I don't know what's going on or what you're going through, but I'm really sorry. And he gives me a hug and he hands me these things. Oh my gosh. Why does that make me so emotional?
It is. It's very nice. I mean, think about it. This guy doesn't know who you are at all whatsoever. He doesn't need anything more from you besides literally telling you that he feels for you and hope it's better.
I know. And he gave me a hug and just like held me for a second. And it was so nice. And I mean, again, it was a stupid math test that I was crying over. But the fact that this person took it that seriously and went out of his way was just like the nicest thing ever.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that happened because I bet it made your day.
It did. It made it a lot better. And yeah, I mean, I honestly just cried more after that because I was like, oh my God.
But it was happy tears versus sad tears.
It was happy tears because it warms your heart when somebody does something so kind for you, especially like that, because he didn't have to do that. So that's why I say smile more, be kind to people because you don't know what's going on in their own lives.
Yep. Next one is take breaks. There's always going to be a goal. The goal's always going to be there. It's never going away. So if you're okay to take a break, take a break. We took a break. It was the most necessary break we've ever needed.
When did we take a break?
It was like
I
in
could use another
September.
break.
Yeah, we're about to take another break, guys. It's almost December, but it's very necessary to take breaks because I think if you don't take breaks, it's very hard to see the big picture clearly. Because if you're just ingrained in all these things all the time, it's impossible to just take a clear look and view things differently and be able to actually reach your goals. Because if you're looking at the same thing over and over and over and over again, never taking a break, then you'll never be able to see it in a different way.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not until somebody outside of that realm really kind of puts into perspective for you. Like, we'll have people be like, you guys are really busy. You know that, right? Or like, when was the last time you took a break? Or like asking us certain questions about things. And we're so caught up in it that we're like, oh, I guess we haven't taken a break in a while. Like, yeah, we did take a full week off of our full-time jobs in September, but we worked nonstop that week. That wasn't an off week for us.
Yeah.
Because we worked on all of this stuff and so much of the business side of things. We're still busy. So I think it's really important to take actual breaks. Like, for example, we're going to be going to India. I'm excited because I don't have to do a damn thing.
India is like the one place you can go and you can just actually relax, not worry about finances, because it's so cheap to buy whatever you want there, like food wise. And then it's like it's just so nice. It's like everything. I think it's different because if you're going to India and you go to a city, that's difficult. But where we live, it's very villagey, it's very rural, and so it's like just peaceful, calm. If you've ever traveled out of the country and gone to, let's say, Europe, or if you've gone to Asia and if you've gone to a rural area of that place, not a touristy spot, if you went to a rural area, it is insanely peaceful. It is not like America, rural place. Like, it's just everybody knows each other. Everybody is walking from house to house. Everybody's like riding their bike. It's just so different.
It is just totally a different world. And I think that's why I'm just so excited to go back, because it's so drastically different from here. I love it here. Do not get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. But when we're there, like I said, I don't have to do anything. And we're lucky enough that your parents got the hookup. Like, obviously, I don't have to cook. I don't have to do, other than tidying up our bedroom that we have. Like, that's it. Yeah. Everything else, my laundry is done for me. It's like, what a dream.
You got to make a video, though, about you making cha in India. You got to do that once.
The cow, cool. the cow is fresh. The milk is fresh.
The milk is very fresh.
Yeah. Ooh, we got to get used to that. That's going to, I know. Shit. I'm kind of nervous for that. Well, but yes, it is very important to take breaks, whether that be in the form of, some people love to take breaks from social media, right? Just by deleting the apps off your phone, or go on a vacation, or even something as small as taking a break during the workday. Take little breaks every hour, every 2 hours. Get outside, get some fresh air. Take all kinds of breaks in any form, because I promise it will reset and refresh your mind, your headspace, and you'll be able to make much clearer and thoughtful decisions.
I don't know what number this is, but this is the next one.
10 total, maybe.
Self-care is essential. You got to do it. It is selfish.
Non-negotiable. It's not selfish. Self-care is not selfish. This is something that took me way too long to learn.
Yeah, I still have time. I struggle with this one, but it's so important because Hallie, sometimes we'll be up in our room and I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to put my feet in the bath, and that's self-care. For me, that's self-care. I've got sweaty feet, everyone.
He does.
It's a problem, but I need to do this for myself.
Well, yeah, you're taking a foot bath. You love your foot baths.
I like my foot baths, everybody.
Yeah.
And that's my way of self-care. Yeah. Another way that I make sure I take care of myself is exercising. Mm-hmm. Another way is having Hallie cook for me.
Okay.
She cooks real nice food for me. It's very healthy.
And Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a really good way to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hallie.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. One of my biggest things, self-care, and it can be free or you can pay money for it, whatever it may be. I get a monthly massage, and this is my biggest and most idolized form of self-care. I don't know how my body would function without it. One, because I'm constantly, like using my body for something, like for fitness or whatever. And even just like sitting and working at a desk, like you hunch over, you have issues, you sleep wrong, like on social media, you tilt your head down. Like we all do things as people, and it's so important that you take care of your body, and it's so important that you take care of anything that you do any form of self-care of yourself, because if you don't do it, nobody is going to do it for you.
It's
Mom has
expensive.
always, but like I said, it doesn't have to be expensive. Like sometimes we give each other massages, or like I'll roll your legs out, or like I'll do some I love to stretch and do yoga and make my body feel good. Or like you can get facials, you can get your nails done, like anything that makes you happy. Or even this is free, just going in Target and looking. That's self-care to me. Just look, perusing.
And doing these things, do these things because time is finite.
Time is finite. Oh my gosh.
We don't have much time. You know how everybody's like, there was this one saying that has stuck with me since it has been said. A billionaire would trade all their money to be in their 20s again.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
You have the same value as a billionaire, because guess what? A billionaire who's in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever it may be, they don't have what you have, which is time.
Yep.
And I think that one sentence, it can shift your whole view on life. It can shift everything, the way you see things. It's like, oh my gosh, I have something that is as valuable as $1 billion. Like that's crazy. You have something that some people would die for, just a little more time. And not only that, but a healthy time. Like you this is the time that you're most healthy.
You're
Like
at your peak.
You're 27, guys. 27, you're at your peak health. Like if you stop running at 27, that is it. Like your muscle starts to degrade. It's just harder to get back into shape. Like 27's it. So you got to keep taking care of yourself and making sure that time is finite.
Well, and yes to all of that, but also realizing time is finite in the sense that you only have so much time with your loved ones.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, I know saying no to a family dinner because you're busy seems like a good idea, but really put that into perspective to be like, okay, my parents are getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents are getting older. They might not always be the healthiest. You're like, what if like this happens to like your mom or something? Like that's horrible to think about. And you want to spend the most quality time with people while you still have time, and be present in that moment. One thing that I've really started ensuring that I do in the last few years is not being on my phone at all when I'm spending quality time with people, because it distracts and takes away from the moment and experience of actually spending good time with them and, really engaging in deep conversations.
I can confirm this because when Hallie is with her friends or family and I text her, I'm like, hey, how's it going? She won't message me back till she's in the car, which is crazy to me, but I respect her. I respect her so much for doing that, because I have such a hard time. Like I'm on my phone all the time.
Brain rot.
It's brain
Shout
rot.
out Liam.
Yeah, shout out Liam. But like it's bad. It's really bad. So I'm trying to be like Hallie, everyone. Everyone be like Hallie. BLH. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm gonna do.
Okay.
BLH. That's all I got.
Air horn.
Yep.
Bruh. But yeah, time is finite, guys. Spend it with the people that you love. No amount of money will give you what time can give you.
If you made it this far, make sure you comment BLH. Be like Hallie. Be like Hallie. Comment right now. I want to see it.
No.
All right. Trust your gut. You gotta trust your gut.
Damn.
This is a hard one. There's so many risks that you're gonna take in your life, and if you don't trust your gut, it's gonna pass you by.
And if you just to that point, trusting your gut, and if you go straight with that decision, it can just mitigate overthinking and trying to seek confirmation and advice from others, because so many times that if you ask other people for advice, it will just cloud your judgment and make the decision-making process even harder, which is just not worth it. Trust your gut always in every situation, because I don't know, I have a lot of gut feelings and I'm really going with them, and regardless of what people say, I'm pursuing that. I'm doing it because it's what I feel is right. And if whatever it is doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And it's okay, because I'll learn and try and do better the next time.
Yeah, if you feel like you're going to throw up, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, if you're uncomfortable, that means you're doing the right thing. You don't want to be comfortable your entire life. Think about that.
Unless you got to fart. Then
Do you have to fart?
No, I'm trying to, I'll be fine.
Can you please, I don't want to breathe it in.
travel
Baby.
more? You got to travel. Right, Hallie?
Yes, you do. But I'm scared about now
I'm
you
not.
farting.
I let
Promise?
it, I let it go back inside.
That's
Yep.
okay. Actually, side note, I'm talking to you watching. Do you believe in holding in your farts?
I don't.
I've met people who are like straight up, I don't believe in holding in my farts.
I don't. But
What
anyways,
do you do with that?
where's the next place you want to travel to?
Well, I mean, one that I haven't been to before.
One you haven't been to. Can't say New York City, Hallie.
Fuck. Damn it.
For me, it's the UK. I would love to visit UK.
I would love to visit UK.
Or
Yeah,
Japan.
Japan would be neat.
That'd be cool. South Korea, Japan.
Can't say Australia. They have too many creatures there. I just can't.
Antarctica.
No.
I would never. I hate the cold.
You see, I would say France, but literally I've seen apparently French people hate Americans. I don't know. I've just seen a lot of TikToks on that in the last year. And yeah, don't get tourist trapped, I guess. Yeah, I would say probably UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, traveling just opens up your mind a little bit.
Oh,
You get
it
to see
does.
different people, get to see different cultures, environments. I think it's important.
I'd also love to go to Italy
Oh, yeah.
and Switzerland
Very much
and
so.
Germany. So I have like 4 answers for you.
The next one is invest in your learning. But I want to add to it. Invest in some stocks.
Okay.
Invest in learning, because if you don't invest in your own mind, then it's going to hurt you in the future. And I say this because I've seen people that
Did you just fart?
no.
Honey, you did. I got to cover my face.
I've seen people who invest in their education, invest in learning new things, and they just make it so much further in life. And then there's those people who kind of learn one thing and just stick with that path their whole life and never change. And that's kind of where it starts to break down a little bit.
Well, yeah, I can speak to this. The first thing that comes to my mind is this in social media. One of the biggest things to keep in mind with investing in your learning is don't stay stuck in the past. I think here, something that we've really learned in being consistent and growing on social media is that you have to stay up to date with trends, lingo, things going on. Otherwise, you're irrelevant. Like what? You're old. People don't care about you.
Nobody cares. But I do think that also investing in like stock portfolio, like understanding money
yes.
is very important. If you don't understand money, learn what it means, learn about the best ways to become wealthy, understand the stock market, understand how the wealthy have gotten wealthy. Because if you don't understand the way that everybody else is, you know how they say they just make the rich richer. If you don't understand how the rich get richer, then you will never be in a position to be where they are at some point. So like, even I think being middle class, that's rich. You're rich if you're middle class. Okay. Like you have a roof over your head. That means that means you're making an income of over $60,000, $80,000 between there. That's rich. Okay. And if you don't understand money, that money can disappear very fast. Okay. So invest invest your money, invest in your learning. It's very important.
Well, what are some of the best ways that you can do this learning? Number one, I would say, is reading about it.
Reading. There's a lot of books out there.
So many rich people read every single day.
And I don't read.
You don't.
I watch
so
a
maybe
lot.
You should.
A lot of YouTube videos,
Wow,
though.
brain rot child. Here we go.
YouTube videos, sometimes they're
YouTube can teach you a lot too
Yeah.
from valued creators who
Yes.
have, a plausible background and
not the
whatever
ones that are
topic.
selling you a scheme.
a scam.
Yeah,
But I think it's really good. You're just so excited, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just so excited.
Yeah. So I think it's important to really take time to build yourself up in knowledge. All right. Whether that be reading.
Knowledge.
You can read, I think reading anything really, but especially reading in what you want to grow in. I think that's huge.
Knowledge. The next one, everybody, is change is inevitable. If you don't have a growth mindset, if you're not able to change, then you will die. Not really.
Look, we have the queen. Sylvie, change is inevitable.
Change is inevitable. It's very
So
important to be realize that change is going to happen, because if you don't, you're going to fall behind.
And this kind of goes with the second point of don't worry about the uncontrollable or whatever we said. Because I think if you just embrace change, oh my gosh, rather than resisting it, which I think we often do, it can lead to so many new opportunities and different perspectives that you'll have throughout the course of your life. I think it's not fair to expect that everything's going to stay the same and, oh, things are so good right now, I wish it would always stay like this. Well, newsflash, that's what makes it so good, is that you savor the moment and you really enjoy that time of your life, or one night that you have, or whatever it may be. If it's like a certain decade, like, oh, your 20s are so good. They're so good because they don't last forever. If it were that way every single day for the rest of your life, if you were this young and had this much time forever, it wouldn't be that good or that special.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I completely agree. The last one, Hallie, I don't get it. So you're going to have to read it.
You don't get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says, let them.
Let them.
What does that mean?
This is my very favorite one, and it's been through a lot of realizations that I have come to understand this one. And I got to give a huge shout out to my favorite podcast, which is the Mel Robbins podcast, because she just published a book called The Let Them Theory. And I think it just resonates to so many situations that we face in our relationships with so many different kinds of people in our day-to-day lives. Let them. So the Let Them Theory is, let me give you an example. If there's a party going on and you don't get invited, let your friends be that way.
Kill them.
No. If your friends don't invite you to this party, let them not invite you. Okay.
Yeah, we don't need them. You got us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
So,
And another example, if you're attracted to somebody that isn't reciprocating the same feelings, the same vibes, the same energy that you're putting into this, don't force anything. Let them be that way. I think the biggest thing to realize is that if somebody's not showing up how you want them to show up, let them be that way, because I promise it will reveal exactly who they are and that you don't necessarily need them in your life. Do you have anything else to say to that?
let them. If they suck butts, let them.
I think the biggest thing here is you can't control somebody else, right? So let go of that.
Stop controlling the uncontrollable.
And you can't force them to change, and you shouldn't want them to change, right? If that's who they're going to be, it's inevitable, okay? So I think it's important that you really let go of, oh, well, I want this person to, I want them to be with somebody who will treat them better. Well, obviously, if this is a pattern, if this is a trend that this person is just going for somebody who's not going to treat them well, let them, regardless of how many times you try and tell them or change them or want them to change for themselves. Let them be that way. Yeah. It's not worth your time and energy at the end of the day. And it really will put into perspective the kinds of people that you need to keep in your life versus ones that you're trying to keep in your life that they're not contributing anything to the value of your life anymore.
Very well put, Hallie.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
Thanks.
Hope you enjoyed all of these points to just be better. Okay. Be better. I think that we've made a lot of mistakes in our lifetime, and we want to make sure that you know all the mistakes and what we've learned from them, so you don't have to go through it as much. You go through them, all right? No matter what, you'll go through them. But at least now when it does come up, you'll know about them.
Yeah, and realize too that these are just a few of the mistakes that we've made throughout the course of our life, and there will be many, 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 many more. So it's important to realize that and give yourself a little bit of grace, because it's okay. We're all human and we're all learning. This is our first time living together, okay? So we're just trying to figure it out as best as we can. Last but not least, everybody, thank you first off for watching this episode, and we want to give you guys a little bit of personal updates. I think we need to start bringing this back, like the last few minutes of the episodes. Like, we want to start talking about ourselves more, because ultimately you guys watch because you like us.
Well, let me know.
Maybe you don't. I don't know.
If you want these at the end, if you've made it this far, this is like a very small majority of people make it this far. So if you made it this far, that means you're amazing. You're a super member of the Half Past crew. I have only one update. It's just, I'm chilling. Life is stressful right now, but I'm making it through. I've had some interviews here and there, and they've gone really well. So I'm excited for the future, and I just want to let you guys know as well, I'm coming out with a YouTube video. Not anytime like next week, but it's coming. So my YouTube video is going to come out, and then Hallie's YouTube video is going to come out, and then mine's going to come out, and then Hallie's is going to come out.
So like time frame, is it like every 2 weeks?
It's going to be like it's not, it's, see, I'm trying to understand it as well. So it's every 2 weeks, yes, but it's going to be every month per person. So like I'm going to have one video a month. Hallie's going to have one video a month. And we're going to release in 2 week periods that don't relate to the other person. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's a cool concept. I think I'm really excited about it because it's like you get to see her point of view and then you get to see my point of view and then her point of view and my point of view. I think it's going to be a cool, because I haven't seen this on YouTube before. I haven't seen a couple who makes two separate videos of their lives. They get to see her vision and his vision. I think this is going to be, I think it's cool.
I'm really excited. Yeah. And with that being said, my next YouTube video, because I legitimately only have time for one a month, it's going to be Wednesday, November 27th.
Then mine has to be in 2 weeks before that or 2 weeks after that?
2 weeks after. 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after. It's up to you.
Oh my goodness.
Depending on how much you worked on it.
This is new information to me, everybody. So
do you want me to make it sooner?
Buckle in, I guess.
Buckle up?
No, buckle in.
Buckle in?
I want you to buckle in. Buckle up.
I don't know. Which one do you say? I'm very confused. Yeah, but I'm really excited. I think I've learned so much already from my first 2 YouTube videos, and I've been really passionate about it already. I've put a lot of my soul into some of these, just from some of these lessons that I've learned, and I'm exemplifying them through what's it called? Like storytelling vlogs?
Storytelling.
Yeah.
Storytelling.
Yeah, that's what I would say. It's kind of hard to put a genre on them. I don't know. Maybe other people do it. I don't watch enough YouTube probably to know a lot of people that do that, but there are some creators that do that, which I think is really, really cool. Because it's not like, I'm just going around vlogging, showing you like, oh, this is what I'm doing today as a 25-year-old in Indianapolis. No, I want to provide some kind of value. So I'm hoping that I'm doing that, and I want you guys to continue watching. So please go check out my latest YouTube video, which came out last Wednesday. Hi, Sylvie. And yeah, I'm really excited for the future of our YouTube videos. So that means you'll get a video from me and Suketu once a month. So that's already 2. And then you'll get 4 podcasts plus all the short form stuff. You're going to get really tired of us. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I want to give a special shout out to 2 of our good friends. The other things that we have are over there. They're very authentic clay chai cups. So they're like these, but they're like not coated. So they're clay. So they're like a one-time use kind of thing. And it gives it like a smoky flavor, which I'm so excited to try. But then look at this. It's a little teapot, a little tea kettle.
And they got little coasters in the inside of it. Look at that. Very nice. Thank you very much.
We have 2 amazing friends that we saw them last night, and they gave this to us. And now these have to be a permanent part of our show. So shout out to Malav and Avi, because they got us these amazing gifts, and all the way from India too, which is like the kindest thing, that they're so thoughtful. And I'm so excited to have these here. And we have these are our new official HPC coasters. So got my little cup on there. And yeah, it's been a really good weekend so far.
If you guys haven't already, make sure, if you're interested in the merch, go to www.halfpastshot.com. That's also where you will go to submit your questions and stories. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And I just want you all to know that we love you, Half Past crew. We thank you for watching, and thank you for making it this far. We will see you next Monday at Half Past Shot.
Love you guys. I need some water. Can you hand me? Here he goes. Here he goes.
Here we go. Ding a ding a ding 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 a ding 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 a ding ding.
My gosh, they're gonna get so tired of us. Please, please.